What's up, you guys? All right, so for the next episode here on the Tire Kickers channel, I'm going to talk a little bit about the process of starting that classic car collection. One of the biggest challenges and obstacles for me was space. When I had just one extra garage bay, I felt like I couldn't make a decision of which type of fun classic car I would park in that one extra bay. You know, would I get a two-seater, like some type of sports car? But then I felt like, oh, that's selfish because I can't really use it with the family. So then should I get like a sort of touring, like Cadillac, like one of the 60s or something like that, or like I don't know, Ford Falcon or something like, you know, that you could put the whole family in, take the top down? Or should I get a truck? I mean, I was going back and forth. I couldn't make a decision. And this was going on for like years. And so one of the big obstacles to starting a classic car dealership or a classic car museum, or even starting to build a serious collection, ultimately is space. And so I was really fortunate when this building right behind me came up for sale. Now, many of you guys know I work down here. My office is right over there in that building. And so when this building came up for sale, I was like, this is perfect, because I own from there all the way to there, all this road, all this area back there where those cars are parked. That's all part of the property. And now I have all of this space for storage. But while this is a pretty cool building, it's a great space, there's a little bit of a hitch. And the hitch is that I have to restore it. Now, this building was built in about 1900, and so it's under the purview of the Historical Commission. And that means there are some things that I just could never do with it. And I'm okay with that. The fact is, this building used to be the fire station, and the fire station came to a point where the building wasn't big enough for their use anymore. And so they had to decide whether or not they would renovate this building or move to a new space. In Massachusetts, the seismic rules for emergency first responding type of buildings is that they're earthquake proof or whatever, which means that if they were going to renovate this building to make it the new firehouse, they would have to build a steel structure inside, because the brick is not considered a seismic wall. So to have to rebuild a steel frame all around this, they just say, you know what, we're going to sell the building, we're going to move. And so this building has been sitting here for the last 5-6 years, just kind of rotting a little bit from the inside out. So when I first got it, I was, looking at all this space here, classic cars, seminars for day trading, for all the day trading students, seminar space for day trading students, and then over on this side, office space for sort of administrative stuff and things like that. And this is sort of the area right now that I have a couple of the cars parked because it's dry. It's kind of safe. But when I first got the building, when it would rain, it was like a shower in here. There was leaks from everywhere. Everywhere was wet. And there was just standing water over in the corners. It was a lot of water. And so the first project was ripping this roof off, and it had asbestos. So doing asbestos abatement, taking off the roof all the way down to the decking, new decking. Now, the trusses, those were structurally strong enough to support the new decking, so that's great. And that was the first kind of thing, and that was a Band-Aid. That was just, let's stop the rain from coming in, so at least through this winter, if it takes that long to work on some of the other things, at least we won't have rain, snow, and ice building up on the inside. So that's been the first project. One of the goals of this is to get the shell of the building, the masonry, the brick, and all the roofs, which are asbestos, replaced and shored up so we can go into the winter having the exterior in good shape, and then we'll just work on the interior. So back in this area, you guys have probably seen me working back here. this is where I had the cars parked in the earlier part of the spring. So I had old Land Rover, I had a 1961 Volkswagen bus, I had the Mustang, and I can't remember, I had another one in here at some point as well. And the whole goal with Tire Kickers is to buy cars that I love, that I think will hold their value, to be able to share them with people, to give people the chance to see them in the videos I post here, people who are around town who see them, people who want to come in once this is all built out and check out the cars. And then when I'm ready to switch them up, sell the car and then get a new one. And so it's a classic car dealership and museum. And I also want to be able to rent the cars for film and commercials and stuff like that. So I can kind of, get them out there, because cars are meant to be loved and enjoyed. So back in this area, a lot of this brick or this cinder block, is getting repointed, and some of the cinder blocks are getting replaced. So this is kind of a project that they're working on right now, going down into the basement. We won't go down there, but one of the things that's nice about this building is that it is, at its core, a really solid structure. It has good bones, right? That's what they say on HGTV. The bones are good. We've got walls that are, although, chipping and paint, they're straight. We don't have bowing walls. We don't have sagging floors. So we're level, we're dry when the roof isn't leaking, and this really is an awesome location, being as close as it is to where I work, close enough to the house, and in a good place downtown. So, this is one of these things where if I hadn't found this building, I wouldn't have been able to really start the journey of kind of building this classic car collection and getting into this new project. Because, there's a lot of buildings and warehouses and stuff for sale, but it was, for me, important to find the right one, to find the right space. And so now I've got one, and I'm ready to get started. And it is kind of funny in my mind how potentially I could have, it could have been years longer before I found the right space that would allow me to sort of start this journey. That really had to come first. So that is kind of where we're at right now. But the fact is, this space needs a lot of work to get it to where I want it to be. And so I don't think that I'm probably going to have it in the place I want it to be until spring at the earliest. And it may take longer than that because of everything going on in this environment, the pandemic and everything else. Cost of some building materials has gone up. Some of the whole permitting process and everything like that. Contractors are sort of backlogged, and things have slowed down a lot. So that's not ideal. But in the meantime, I have some cars. I have a space in here where I can store them, where they're dry and where they're safe. And I can kind of begin the collection. And I know I've already shared with you some of these cars. Of course, this one here, probably the most impressive one of all, with the 429 engine. Such a monster. And then, of course, a relatively rare split window, 1963 Corvette. This one I got from the original owner. So, something like this, you just won't have a lot of opportunities to buy a single owner car. And then, of course, the 911 Turbo 993, this one is just a really pretty incredible car. It's super quick. So, as I've been kind of beginning this journey that started with getting the space and then getting that first car, breaking the ice, now I'm getting a little bit of a feel for which ones I like, which ones I don't like as much. And I'm kind of thinking about how to curate the gallery and the sort of area of expertise that I want to really focus on. And right now, I guess I would say the two that I'm focusing on are American muscle cars and then Porsche and Volkswagen. I'm not at right this moment. There's not a lot of Asian cars that I'm super into. couple of Toyotas, older Toyotas that I like, Japanese. But I know Nissan and Honda and some of those are really picking up some popularity in the collector's market, some of the late 90s, early 2000s ones. But those ones just, I don't know, they haven't been doing it for me yet. So I think I'm going to be focusing mostly on the American muscle cars, Corvette, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, potentially if I see some. I really like the Hemi, obviously. I mean, who doesn't? But those are harder to come by and they're expensive. So, and then you see one and it's like bright yellow, and I don't really want a bright yellow banana car. So I'm, kind of thoughtfully building out the collection. But as I said in the first episode, one of the things that's really nice is the knowledge that, a car like, well, any of these ones, if I say, you know what, I don't think this one really fits in the collection right now, I'm going to go ahead and sell it. We're going to swap it out. Someone else will love having it. And some cars I may just find and I get a great price on, or someone wants to sell the car to me and I can get it and get it here, get it cleaned up, bring it to my mechanic, get it in really good shape, and then go and sell it. That's kind of some of those type of cars will pay some of the bills to keep this place going. So thank you guys for being along on the journey. It's going to be really cool to look back at this as this space starts getting together a little bit more. I've hesitated to do videos on it sooner because I've just been like, this is boring. There's nothing to talk about. But I just figured, you know what, let's just break the ice. Just like we broke the ice with the car, let's break the ice, make the first episode. So now here we are, second episode, and third one is coming soon. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys for the next episode here at Tire Kickers.
What's up, everyone? All right, well, if you made it to the end of this video, you must also be a tire kicker just like me. So hit that subscribe button and come over to tirekickers.com to check out some articles that I've written about some of my favorite cars, including that 23 window 1961 VW bus.